Hello everyone and welcome to Slipjoint Sawyer. Today we'll be taking a look at a knife from Wright & Sons, and this is one that's an exclusive to Moonraker knives here in the UK. Tony at Moonraker often has these done. He sends his own sort of wood to the guys at Wright, and then they produce a standard model but with the handle material of his choice. Very similar to what Twisted Assisted had done when they had the natural micarta and the burlap and all that sort of stuff done. But let's take a look at this one. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? Look at the wood grain on that. Now this is the standard clip point Barlow. Tell it's a Barlow for the elongated bolster. And the wood that they have used is Mossy stabilized birch. Now I have seen a couple of examples of these on Discord. I know a couple of people have picked them up where they've not had so much green in theirs, but you can definitely see the sort of the mossy colours dotted around on mine, like here, here and here. But less green, but I mean, look at that. The wood on these is absolutely fantastic. Now I have picked up 3 of these, one for myself, which is this one for Mikey at Baldy's Blades, and one for John at Thrifty Kniffy. And the 2 that I've received a bit so far have been fantastic. I'd ordered one the day after the other one, so that one should arrive tomorrow. But this thing is just absolutely beautiful. I'm blown away with just the whole knife. The only thing I can really say is the blade is off center. It's not touching, but it's close. I mean, but that's it. There's nothing. But I will take an off center blade for some handle materials like this. Beautiful birch, curly stabilized. So we've got nickel silver bolsters. They're pinched on both sides. We have brass liners with a carbon steel spring and a C75 carbon steel blade. We have brass pins holding this together, and they are beautifully hafted. You can see how well the covers match. Now these are done by hand. It's a fully handmade knife, and you can pick this up. They're in stock still, but they was only I think about 21 total for $46.95 on the Moonraker website. And for a handmade knife, I mean, come on, you can't really get much better than that. But beautifully contoured. You can see how it's sort of beveled there to be comfortable in the hand. But let's take a look at some specs of the knife. So we have a close length, pretty standard for an Wright Barlow, just over 3.5, a little bit shy of 3 3/4. Standard sort of thickness of the knife, then it's about 1/2 inch, give or take. But it's going to be a very traditional pattern. Now Wright do lots of different handle materials for different places. Their standard one is the Iki wood, and they've done some in olive wood, they've done them in ebony, micarta, just loads of different types. But the fit and finish, flawless on this one. You can see I can't see a single gap on that thing. See that all the way down there? Beautifully done. And I love the contrast of the brass with the nickel silver bolsters and the steel spring. I think that looks absolutely fantastic. Bolsters line up as well beautifully. See, they're dead even. None of this sort of odd bolsters that you can get with some handmade knives. These are literally bang on perfect. And this is the clip point blade. Now you can see you can pinch it open. It's about a 7.5 to an 8 pull. The tang stamp on this one is A. Wright, Sheffield, England. Beautiful clip point. I still think the Wright clip point is the best looking clip point that's ever been sort of produced. It's that quintessential aggressive sort of upswept Barlow. Nice kick there to stop any sort of blade wrap. Now this is going to be UK legal with a full blade length of 2 3/4 and then a cutting edge of right about 2.5 inches. Blade stock on this I believe is about 3 mil, 2.5 to 3 mil. And there's a really nice hollow grind on it. You can see that there. Came wonderfully sharp. Just give it a little strop and it's honestly screaming sharp. That thing's going to be a perfect working blade. Now, with a C70 carbon steel, is it going to last forever? No, it's a very budget, but it's a very traditional steel for a Sheffield made knife. Or I would suggest taking these with you, maybe if you take the Victorinox little pocket sharpener or just a bit of leather strop with you, and you can do that on your lunch break or whatever, and it'll definitely do a full day for you without a problem. Action is fantastic. Nice snap. You can use the nail nick if you wish, but you are able to pinch it open. But just listen to that. Okay, it's even hard to open it from that far. Affirmative snap. Nice on the close. You can see no rub, no blade wrap. You can even pinch it open that way. Overall, an absolutely superb Barlow, and one that is going to get a lot of pocket time for me. I'm a big fan of the Wright Barlows. I've got a few, not as many as some of the spear points, but I have the twisted assisted exclusives. I've got 2 of those actually, and I've got the standard in sort of the rosewood, which is their old basic wood before they started going to the EDC wood. But I'm going to put a bit of mineral oil on this wood and see it absorb, and I think it's going to be even better. Beautifully clean on the inside as well. What's the overall length on this? It's not going to be a big knife. We are, what's that, 6 3/4? Yeah, 6 3/4. So it's just a fantastic knife. I love the Wright Barlows. I mean, let's take a look. I grabbed some of the twisted assisted sort of exclusives, and you can see the variation of the handle materials they do. So this was one of the first iterations they did for twisted assisted. This is with the burlap micarta, but you can see just the different variations. So you've got a very classical traditional British wood or traditional wooden handled knife. You've got then one there with the micarta, which is American micarta, so it's like a nice pairing for the two. And then one here, which is the natural linen micarta, which again is a twisted assisted. But you cannot tell me these are not beautiful knives. They all get a lot of use. Well, these two have. This one is definitely going to have all the same blade steel, all exactly the same, just different handle materials. And I don't know what it is. I love the Barlow and I love the spear point. I just think they're one of the greatest working knives that Wright make. But I really hope you enjoyed this review, guys. This again is the Wright & Sons clip point Barlow in the Mossy stabilized birch, and you can pick this up from moonrakerknives.co.uk. I will put the link in the description below, but I would be quick. There's not many left. Thank you once again. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.